Hey everybody, Andrew from findyourfuels.com here to be a help again to you today. Today we're going to be talking about refreshing your resources. And unfortunately, since I'm a human talking about resources, we're thinking of HR, human resources. And though it may have probably strayed from its initial intent, since it was about resourcing the talent that we have available, and now it's seemingly kind of, at least in most people's minds, checking boxes, conflict resolution, sensitivity training, all the things that we really look forward to on a daily basis. Really, when it gets down to it, we are wanting to think of people as resources. And our people are wanting to think of us as a resource, that by clocking in and doing what I need to do, it's actually somewhat fulfilling. Not all the time, but we at least hope that there's different oasis moments in our desert path where we can kind of take refreshment from just the environment itself. And that's actually the first of three areas we want to look at today for possible oasis moments of resource, and that's your environment. Besides how you like people to do the job and the culture that's available, what is the job actually? You might sell the job as helping people and making the world a better place. Is it just flipping burgers? Just tell me it's flipping burgers. Because even though we don't look to that environmental impact as a resource, it can actually be a very great resource for your people. It might allow them the opportunity to see how things work. It might give them a chance to look at the bigger picture. It might be just simply them having the ability to have a lot to do, checking boxes. There are different things that unique individuals will actually see as a resource. Now the second area beyond environmental, that's kind of the what, now we're going to think about the how. What do you actually measure specifically? As your management team is overlooking the crew that's underneath them, what are they actually asked to keep track of? Because what you count shows what's most important to you. Is it number of customers served? Is it the responses from customer reviews? Is it the efficiency of resources? What is it? For you to really take a look and say, okay, how am I asking them to accomplish the environmental job that I have available? What am I actually measuring? There actually might be people in your organization that you don't think you're really making anyone feel better by keeping track of time spent and efficiency, but there are certain people in your organization who are just tickled pink that you're actually keeping track of that because that's something that's important to them. So that what you measure is kind of a place of resource as well. So not just environmentally with the what, not just measurement and management with the how, but even culturally with the why. That's the third column there. Your culture itself, the preferred feelings you'd like your workers to have as they're going through their daily activities, that they just have a hankering for customer service, or they just get up thinking about making great first impressions. Your culture. People uniquely enjoy different approaches to culture. So the interesting part, of course, we've talked at length before about how different situations motivate or demotivate unique individuals. And it's helpful to think of those three different areas of resource. But one last challenge I'd like to give to you while you're on the subject, do those things line up? Let's take a sales opportunity, for example, since I've done a lot of sales. There have been times where the job itself is selling. So there's many opportunities for me to enjoy that activity. However, what is managed is more of a cultural customer service ethos, where it's a number of people helped and how is their reaction to you, when in fact the sales process is not always how do I say this diplomatically? It doesn't care as much about the relationship as to what that relationship can do. Can you move it to action? So even there's a misalignment that if you want a very customer service feel to your sales team, you're going to have to find a way to make up that difference. And if on top of that, as with this other place I had worked, they were very industrial in the culture that they wanted. They wanted someone who was very to the numbers, who was always looking at the data, who was always keeping track and monitoring all the different things that you were doing. It was a very industrial culture that they were hoping people would kind of come at it, that you'd be somewhat relational, but at your core you'd be kind of a robot in human skin. You'd look warm and effusive, but you were very numbers driven and very, very mechanical about your process. So what the job was versus how they measured it versus why they wanted you to do it in the first place were all misaligned. And it not only confused priorities, but it gave very little opportunity to gain resource and refreshment from the job itself. So that's a bit of a challenge to you guys to not only look at the what, how, and why, but to make sure they're aligned as possible. It can be kind of daunting, so if you do need some extra help, Fuels is here to help. Hope the video was good for you. Hope it was a valuable use of your time. If it caused any questions, leave them below. As always, we love the subscriptions. Keep those questions coming. We'll see you later. Bye.